You know, one of the things I love to do when I'm fishing a really clear or new body of water, especially the clear lakes here and some of the lakes here in Wisconsin, is I love to drop an AquaView camera down to actually identify the structure and the types of fish that are hanging around the weeds and the rock. And I took the camera out this past weekend with my son, my good buddy Scott Scafar, and we went looking for some crappies and some smallies, and went out to a main lake point and put the AquaView down, started drifting around, and as you can see, we got into the weeds, and man, they were just loaded with crappies, just crappies all over the place. We marked a stretch for about 100 yards where they were just completely, there must have been hundreds of crappies and some really nice gills that were just stacked up along the weed edge, and about 12 to 18 feet of water is where we saw the majority of the crappies, bluegills, and even some nice smallies hanging out there. So what we did then is we ended up started to fish crappies with a 3-inch white gulp and a 1/8 ounce jig head. Scotty and I were in the back of the boat, basically just casting to the tops of the weeds and just letting it sink. Now that was the important part when we were fishing the jig and gulp, is we were letting it sink for probably 8 seconds or so, and just to kind of swim it and then pop it across the top of the weeds and then let it sink a little bit more. So you're kind of walking it down the deep weed edge where we saw all these fish were suspended, and we were just casting, making long casts, fishing 6-pound braid with a 4-pound test fluorocarbon leader. That's what both Scotty and I were using, and then Cal was just using 4-pound test with a sliding bell sinker, a 2-way swivel, and about a 3-foot leader with a Berkeley gulp leech, and then he was also catching some bluegills on some redworms. Both were working really good on the bluegills. We did better on the gulp minnows and stuff on the crappies, and then the redworms and stuff were working better for gills, and Cal was catching a few nice bass as well. So in summertime, when you're looking to fish a new lake or you want to go out on a clear lake, what I like to do is either side image or use my Lake Master chip and kind of hunt down some really good looking spots that have deep water near them, weeds or rocks. What I do is I cruise along it, I side image it first, and then when I see these big weed beds, if I see fish on my locator, then I drop the camera down. But until I see a bunch of fish, then I kind of hold off and dropping the camera down. And when we see all the fish that we want to catch, as you can see, this is just this past weekend, we started catching tons of gills, tons of really nice crappies, and that's where the camera really pays off. It'll identify the right species of fish for you. It shows you the bigger crappies, the smaller gills. We went over an area where we saw a lot of small bluegills, so instead of fishing there, we just kept going down the point. We got near the end of the point, and boom, that's where we saw the big crappies and the gills. I hit spot lock with my Minn Kota, didn't even have to put the anchor down, and Cal started catching gill after gill, and Scotty and I had caught a lot of crappies. So try the AquaView out if you're looking to fish a clear lake. Crappies will hit the moving baits, the moving plastics, and the gills like the leeches or the Berkeley leeches and gulp and redworms and stuff like that. And remember, if you have any questions, you can always follow us on our Facebook page. And thanks again for subscribing to our YouTube page. Good luck fishing.
Breakdown, the shakedowns arrive. I'm tired of sitting back. It's time to get live, and I'm about to try and show you how. Better party people are ready to get loud. So shake off your nerves, you nerd, and get down. We from the burbs, you heard. So